Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab in California, and we have another new breakdown for you today. It's going to be a comparison video on Quintez Cephas and Henry Ruggs III. Henry Ruggs ran a 4.27 officially at the combine, and I know with at least Quintez here, he was running about 4.7. So before we hop into this, I want to just say, if you like the videos and want to get more information about how you can run faster in the 40, the 60, the 100, just improving your running mechanics, subscribe to the channel. Let us know if you have any specific breakdowns that you would like to see or any more information. We want to be able to provide the best content for all of our subscribers, and so you can go ahead and click here and subscribe to get started. So with that being said, we'll get this comparison going. First thing I want to say with Henry Ruggs and Quintez Cephas is they are about the same height. So Quintez Cephas is actually 6'1", and Henry Ruggs is about 6 foot. And we're going to go through some of the principles that I was going over a lot last year when we were talking about the 40-yard dash and what ends up being really, really important. So, overall step count I think is crucial. We're going to look at Henry Ruggs here, really good at being very far forward on each one of his steps, keeping all of his weight on the balls of his feet. 3, 4 steps there, and he's continuing to do a good job of lifting through the spine as he's coming up. 6, there's 7 in terms of his overall steps. Now we're going to go to Quintez here, and we got the first step. Much more upright already in the spine, very lean, very curved there at the spine, where you could see that Henry Ruggs here. I can even go back here for you. Whoops, sorry guys. You could see very different in terms of overall position of the body in the first step, not getting into triple extension within that back leg, and then as actually coming down, not picking up very much ground overall, where Henry Ruggs does a good job of getting that foot all the way down on the ground. Second step, very, very similar, not picking up very much ground. So we'll go here, we'll go back to the 7th step. Boom. And you can also see that Henry Ruggs is doing a good job of just generating overall good momentum in his body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was one of the big things, right? That you have to be past the 10-yard mark in 7 steps. We could see where Henry Ruggs is, and we could see where Quintez Cephas is. Sorry, Cephas. You can see some of the same things here. And look at how straight up he already is, too, in the spine. He's already very far upright. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 steps, you're supposed to be at 20. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 steps took him to get to the 20. Excellent, excellent job there, Henry Ruggs. Only 6 foot. And it took him 11 steps to go 20 yards, and because he's so opened up, right? He's allowing his spine to really do a good job of leaning himself forward, and then from there he's just being very quick with his feet, and he's not wasting any motion. See, a lot of guys that I see, their feet get too high up behind them as they're pushing off the ground, and you can see here that Henry Ruggs does a good job of getting full extension, not letting that foot get too high back behind him, so now you can transfer that leg right up and through. The other big thing is he's getting full extension. Look at Quintez Cephas and his extension. Look at it. He's never really extending in any of his steps, right? So he's stuck there and not being able to create all the motion that he's able to and create all the force that he's able to. And you can see the difference, obviously, in overall power production. So again, we're at 11 steps here. Boom. Okay, now that was 12, this is 13, 14, 15. Look at too how his force is very downwards. I'm just going to clear this out. It's very downwards, right? He's not creating very much of a back movement here. Let me make sure. 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm just going to put a little note there. 15, right? So he's not creating very much downward force when he's not extending his leg at all either. He's not extending his knee out in front of him at all. He's just bending the leg and then pushing right down towards the ground, which is going to make it so he's going to have a little bit longer contact time. 11 here, 12. Look at how good Henry Ruggs is extending all the way out with that foot. 13, 14, 15, 16. Look at, I mean, it's just so fluid. 16, 17. Look how he's opening up all the way now. 18, 19. Right? It takes him about 19 steps to get there at 6 foot. Right? So this is 16 here, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 and a half, I would say. 21.5. So he's 6'1". Took him 2.5 more steps to get the same distance as somebody that is 6 foot. And it's about the optimization of the stride, right? We see, again, the difference in being able to get that full extension within the leg, right? We see the difference in being able to really reach all the way out in front of us on each one of our steps. We'll also see the difference of being able to maintain a nice full arm position, right? So when you're here, not being able to, he's a little bit tight in the arm, so he's not able to fully get the elbow all the way up behind him, right? And even when he is, he's not able to really open up his chest at all. Look at how tight he is in his upper body, right? So he's been probably doing a lot of bench, trying to get prepared for the bench side of things, but probably ended up really hurting himself by only getting 4 sevens here on the run, right? Now, even when he's impacting the ground too, he's not keeping more of his weight on the balls of his feet, so it's hard for him to be as forceful off the ground. He's really focusing on just being as quick as he can off the ground, but not creating very much force, where Henry Ruggs is very, very forceful into the ground, and because he's so forceful, look at how fast he could just go, boom, strike the ground, then push right back off. Where here we have Quintez Cephas, who's landing, and even though he's landing in with his foot pretty well back behind him, he's not generating any force off the ground. You could really see this when slowing down, and the difference of how force is being generated between both athletes and how that's going to impact them when they're not able to maximize how they're impacting the ground. I think a lot of people, when they're touching the ground, are reacting to being able to touch the ground, right? So it's not a forceful creating that large amount of force into the ground. It's that's what you want to be doing. Instead, they're kind of pushing lightly towards it and trying to be very, very quick into the ground, which then makes it so it's harder to generate the same amount of force. So if you're going downwards as your foot's touching instead of pushing back and through, it's really going to impact your ability to maximize your 40 time. And really for, I would say, a lot of high school guys, if you guys can get into this 4-7 range when you're 16, 17 years old, that's a huge benefit, right? I mean, I would say even Henry Ruggs was probably in like the 4 or 5 range when he was coming out of high school, maybe even 4-6, right? Because it's such a technical race. So you got to be able to understand what you're doing. And then, once you get into college and you can develop a little bit more strength, you develop a little bit more power, then you can get yourself down into the 4-2, 4-3 area. But really, right now, for a lot of you guys just getting into 4-7s, a lot of 4-7s in high school are probably running 4-4s and 4-5s now coming out of college, because, it's another 3 to 4 years of development of, your muscle, of your running technique, of, your ability to control your core and create force out of your core. So all those things play a huge integral part in being able to really maximize your overall potential. So just to give you an idea of what a lot of guys are probably shooting for these 4-4, 4-5s, because you see the success with the combine, and I'm just letting you know a lot of you guys are probably not running 4-4, 4-5s. There's very, very rare to see a 4-4, 4-5 guy coming out of high school. And so a lot of guys end up being probably in that, again, 4-6, 4-7. If you're running 4-6, 4-7, you're faster than a lot of guys that are in high school, and can set yourself up to get noticed. Even even low 4-6s for a lot of guys could set yourselves up to get noticed by some big Division I colleges. So as always, let me know if you guys have any questions. We have a lot of cool tools for you to help you run in your 40 a little bit faster. And I just wanted to give you some explanation of, what you want to be able to focus on and how you can actually maximize your 40-yard dash as a, receiver, defensive back, quarterback, tight end. It's important really for everybody, linebacker, and how some of you guys are really hurting yourself by not putting a good focus on generating power in order to improve your stride length and stride distance, and instead putting maybe too much of a force on quickness and being really, really fast with the legs. All right? As always, let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll talk soon.